Tonight I'm going to start a brisket. It's the second brisket I've cooked on this thing. The first one, I started to film it, but was very disappointed, so I deleted it. So this is going to be my second try, and I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to start my fire over here on this side. And once I light it, I'm going to start putting these charcoal briquettes and some lump over on the top of it so it'll start. And I'm hoping that this piece of oak that I have here will smoke along the way as it goes to give the smoky flavor that I'm wanting. I have a combination of Webers Charcoal Briquettes and B&B oak lump charcoal. So I'll get that lit later on tonight, and I'll see you back at the grill about midnight, 1 o'clock. Alright, we're going to start trimming on this little old brisket. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but it's got some stuff you got to clean up on it before you get a good cook. That's just hard right there. See if we can cut that out. You want to cut this stuff out because it won't render as the meat cooks. So I need to get rid of it. Okay, on the back here there's lots of silver skin. We want to try to get that off. If you don't take the silver skin off, the seasonings won't get down to the actual meat you're trying to cook. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's not going to be, but it's better than what it was. Huge chunk of fat. And this brisket actually looks pretty dang good compared to some I got up there at Walmart to pick from. Flip this thing over and see what we got. And this is the fat cap. There's an awful lot of fat on the top of this brisket, and you don't have to trim it off, and honestly you want about 1/4 of an inch left on the brisket to give it that flavor and give it the bark and whatnot. So for this cook, I'm going to cook this fat side up. So I'm going to season the meat side first, and that way whenever I flip it over, it'll still be sitting on the seasoning that fell off when I flipped it. I'm going to start off with this Weber steak and chop. It's a good beef flavor. Before I forget it, you can see how the grain runs this away. I'm gonna go ahead and cut right here to give myself some reference. That way, after this thing is done, it'll be hard to tell which way the grain is going. So, I mean, because it should crust up pretty good, have a good bark to it, and it'll be hard to see that grain in that meat. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this right here. That way it'll give me a reference point whenever the meat gets done, where I need to start my cut. Because if you cut the brisket with the wrong direction, it'll be tough. And if you cut against the grain, it'll be melt in your mouth tender. Pat that in a little bit. We'll go check the grill temperature and I'll get back with you whenever we put this thing on. We're about 2 hours into the cook. It's holding steady around 250 degrees. Right there. I don't have my meat probe in yet, but the grill's holding good. I've got the top vent open to 2.5, and the bottom vent is open to about 1 3/4. So it's doing pretty good. I'm gonna open it up and check the water pan, put some more in it maybe, if it needs it. Yeah, it looks like it could use some water. Okay. All right, it's looking good so far. We'll come back in another couple hours, check it out. Okay, I had to stop and mow the yard. We're about 13 hours away from, 13 minutes away from being 4 hours into it. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up and check the water pan, look at the cook. Temperature's dropped to 239. I'll adjust the vents a little bit if I need to. Oh, that is beautiful. It smells delicious, y'all. Y'all just don't know. This thing smells so good. I'm gonna go ahead and stick a temperature probe in it. So we can see what it's doing up here on the point. Now here we are about 5.5 hours into this thing, and internal temperature is up to 200 degrees, and it's plenty jiggly, and the probe just goes through it like it's nothing. So I'm gonna wrap this back up, pull it off, and I guess I'll take it and set it in the house in the oven and let it rest for an hour or so, and then maybe an hour and a half, where it's cool enough I can touch it and let those juices kind of soak back into it. And then we'll cut this thing up and see what I come up with. I'll turn you back on whenever I get it done, when I get it back in the house. Okay, so this brisket is rested now, and I had cut it right here on this corner so we could tell where I needed to start trimming it. Let's cut into it here a few slices and see what goes, see what we got. Man, that is tender. See what we got. Oh, evidently I picked the wrong side. Okay, let's start cutting this thing here. See what we got. Cut this way. Holy cow. Look at that. See that juice? Look at that. It's so moist, so juicy. Alright, y'all. This is the winner for the Kamander. Cooking a brisket today. I'm gonna call that excellent. Peace and good karma, y'all. End of line.